thank you all for coming. I think I'll stand up. I'm a shy, quiet guy. We're delighted to have this interaction, and we want to see those business cards fly back and forth. We could probably quit right now and just have you visit with each other and have a very productive event. We're just delighted with Multilink's support of this. We have many great translation companies in this state. This is one of the well, I guess probably the oldest, would you say? Among those, really the best looking, there's no question. We are World Trade Center. Utah is a nonprofit, so our job is to be an honest broker to connect you with agents, distributors, financing, to introduce you to, if Steve Price is not around sometime, we know how to get to Steve Price because he's a great partner. We work with David Fiskus. Our job is to coordinate, collaborate, and motivate, educate, and facilitate international trade in this state. And the good news is, it's working. If I were to ask you which state in America last year had the best international trade performance, at least measured by export growth, would you have guessed a small square state in the Intermountain West without a seaport? Utah, the only state in America last year that had growth in its exports. And that's because of the people around the table and because of the facilitation and the talent that makes this happen. And that infrastructure includes attorneys, accountants. I look at Mark because he's been a catalyst in ensuring that some of these professionals get together regularly and talk about international tax and accounting issues. But we have an infrastructure here that is terrific, and we're delighted to have more people come from Texas, from law firms, and other places to realize Utah is the place. We always call it the crossroads of the West. You look at the map, it's the crossroads of the world. When Ambassador Huntsman got his call to go to, from the president to go to China, he said, you know, I'm not going to the Far East, I'm going to the Near West. And that's how in Utah we're viewing what's happening. Our job, as Elizabeth said, and as Sheila working together, is to hopefully find ways to direct you to opportunities, contacts, resources. You know, I keep looking at our friends from SBA because there's some exciting things happening in that world on financing in particular. The questions typically we get when people decide to go international are two: how do I get paid, and how do I ship? Well, we can answer both those questions with the team around here. So I get excited every morning because our job is to help Utah become a more global state. And the trade statistics are showing that. The excitement around what's happening is showing that. One of the ways, those of you who were able to stay awake for the entire State of the Union speech from President Obama may have noticed near the end he said, we have a goal to double exports in the next 5 years in this country. He calls it the National Export Initiatives. David Fiskus is the trade warrior that's making that happen in our state. But the reality is the one state that did double exports in the last 5 years was Utah. So we've had people come from the Obama administration say, what are you doing to make this happen? We point to David Fiskus and our other partners at GoEd and his chamber and others that are in fact finding ways to make this export machine work. One of the quickest ways to build the sprint way is to take companies like yours that are already exporting to one country and try and expand to 3 or 4 or 5 countries. The longer pathway, and with our progeny, with these beautiful young daughters, is to look at having us become a more globally minded state and saying, no matter what, I'm going to get into international business. I'm going to learn the languages. I'm going to learn the business skills. I'm going to hang at Utah Valley University or Weaver State or University of Utah and find out how I can, in fact, become part of this global economy. Because regardless of what happens, whether you get on an airplane to Taiwan tomorrow or not, from our great international airport, or not, those people around the rest of the world, the 95% of the world that doesn't live in America, knows that Utah's a terrific market. So we have to be globally competitive in that environment. So that's our story. At World Trade Center, we have almost a monthly program called Export Experts. And our next one is going to be on next Friday, November 10th. It's a webinar, all invited. I'd like to pass around these brochures as a reminder, just as an example. It's a good contact opportunity as well. We have a newsletter that goes out. We have been delegated as the international calendar for the state, and WTCut.com provides, it's a weekly free e-newsletter. It has a calendar of the events coming up, and this was on it. Other events are on that. So we hope that you'll take advantage of not only the November 10th event with this webinar with our colleagues from the World Bank. And David Fiskus is a longtime colleague of David Folt, who will be on this webinar. But also on Monday, November 22nd, we're going to have, and this is via long distance, David Neeleman, the founder of JetBlue and now the founder of Azul in Brazil, which is Azul recently was named the fastest growing airline in the history of aviation. David Neeleman, a native of Brazil and a Utah man through and through, will be speaking about international events on Monday, November 10th, November 22nd at 8 o'clock. Also mentioned on our event.
November 10th is a Wednesday.
I'm sorry, November 10th, this first event is on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
Sorry about that. Please, November 10th is Wednesday. We ought to always put what day of the week that is. Other things, we have restrooms out here to the right. We'd be happy to validate your parking when we're done, but only if you've exchanged a couple dozen business cards with your friends. And there's plenty of food there. And as we're talking, if you get tired, go down where President David is and get some food. So, and also copies of Utah CEO. So a quick romp through what we're doing at World Trade Center. Utah, our job as a nonprofit is to make you profitable. We're in this together. People from Texas and others who visit say, there's a lot of cool comparative advantages we have in Utah. But one of the great ones is we really do like each other. We cooperate. We collaborate. We really do keep in touch with each other here on trying to make this work for you. So, how about that, Brian? Anything more? We can do questions from there.
Great. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you.